History suggests that if you're brought up on Merseyside, you've a responsibility to entertain. From legends such as Cilla Black and Paul O'Grady, to Red Rose number 23, Jill Burns. And Mum Anne, of course. And for one of Burns' former pupils, Holly Aitchison, it would be Las Vegas at the age of 19, where her debut performance would take place. In an England Sevens shirt, of course.
And Holly Aitchison, the beneficiary, beautiful kick through.
That was wild, actually. When I think about debuting in Vegas, I was like, that is such a big stage, and like the party atmosphere around Vegas was insane. But I literally couldn't go into anywhere because I was like 19 and everywhere's like 21 to get into. So I remember parts of it being like so cool that I was in Vegas and then not being allowed into the bar. So I was like, it was a really cool like experience and everything that you dream of when you make that final like England debut. But it was a bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah, had you been allowed into the bars, what sort of person is Holly Aitchison in a bar in Vegas, do you think?
I think a completely different person to what's sat here now. A lot more confident, let's say.
After starring in sevens and fitting in 15s, it's fair to say that Aitchison's relationship with confidence has, like the backline positions she's played, been mixed.
Yeah, I think it was very like daunting having been out of 15s for so long. So I'd spent a good 4 seasons in sevens. So I was kind of like, I just came with an open mindset where I didn't really expect to play. And then unfortunately, Skaz had an injury and I come into the first training camp and Mids was like, I'll just give it a go, whichever position you kind of want to go in at. And I was like, well, there's a lot of space at 13. We've not got loads of people running through. So it kind of naturally slotted in there and didn't really think too much of it apart from feeling like I just didn't know anything. Like I came back in and I was just like, the game's moved on so much and I just felt like I was so far behind, yet I was still in the England squad and kind of expected to produce these performances. And yeah, I think it was just all a bit daunting. I didn't really think about it too much at the time, but looking back, I'm like, oh God, that was actually quite a big thing to do.
As the transition back to the 15-a-side game continued, both club and country were reaping the benefits of a relationship hewn in the corridors of Hartpury College, with one Zoe Harrison.
When I came back in from sevens, Zoe was massively influential in helping me to transition. She definitely got me back up to speed with more of the kicking and tactical awareness, which is something that she's obviously world class at and has been a really good friend throughout that. We went to Hartpury together. So, you know, we've known each other for a really long time. Obviously, we had that time when I went into sevens and kind of did my own thing, added a few other bits to my skill set, but it's been really nice to come back and transition and have the help of her to do that as well.
A fly half and centre, two playmakers, two styles. It's no wonder Saracens club director of rugby, Alex Osterbury, is happy.
Yeah, certainly. I think for us, we've been blessed and very lucky to have them complementing each other. You know, different strengths, different balances in their game, but ultimately to have two high quality players with the ability to manage a team around the park to create opportunity. Like for us, it's been a real luxury, and you know, for England, it will become a real difficult decision, but a decision that coaches will, you know, it's great to have competition, it's great to have high quality in positions, and then, you know, seeing where they go with it, 10, 12, what other balances to look at will be exciting to watch and see if we can get any ideas of how they do it and how we can maximise those two together.
Perhaps there's a bit of history with England with a player playing fly half that's had a Saracens number 10 on their back, and perhaps another player that might also try and have an England 10 on their back. That 10-12 axis, whether it's Owen Farrell and George Ford or Zoe Harrison and Holly Aitchison, it's an interesting conundrum, isn't it?
What a conundrum to have two unbelievably talented players complementing each other, challenging each other, driving each other forward, and ultimately competing on a national stage for whichever shirt it is. But I think the big thing for us and for England is that, again, you've got two players that complement each other very well, and you know, Holly's really growing into her potential. I think you're seeing her ability to attack, unlock the game. Zoe's obviously slightly different in the way that she approaches things, but I think that gives you a real good balance and a real diversity in your attack, and not too dissimilar to why probably the axes in the men's game was pretty consistent for a long time. So it'd be interesting to see. And again, it's worked at a club level. I have no doubt it'll work at international level, whichever way around they play.
With Harrison's recent injury woes, for Aitchison, it's been less about finessing the harmonious duets and more about mastering the solo career.
I think I've actually had a lot of growth in myself and enjoyed the challenge of growing to kind of speak in front of people, which is something that I've naturally really struggled with. But also with it being a different position and being closer to the ball, I just think my skill set lends itself a little bit better to there. More touches, being able to manipulate defences and work with a lot of the girls that I play with on a regular basis at Saracens. So yeah, it's been so enjoyable.
With 5 straight starts at fly half during a Grand Slam winning campaign with England, Aitchison looks to the manner born. She's attracted sponsorship from a cosmetic brand, who can clearly see how comfortable she is in her own skin.
Yeah, honestly, I just can't even begin to explain how amazing and surreal it's felt to be working with Clinique and putting together the campaign to work with young girls and hopefully have a positive influence on their lives coming through the system. It's honestly been a dream, and I think it's just been so special because I kind of meet the girls at the clubs that we've selected, and you just look around and you're like, that was literally me. I relate to every one of you in some way, and it's just, been super special to kind of connect and have that hopefully positive influence on them.
Do you think you have the power? Do you think the game has the power to really change that narrative for that next generation of girls that are coming through? Because, women's game, women's rugby ultimately says, big, small, tall, short, whatever you might be, there's a place for you. And it doesn't matter, whether you're good at this or good at that, there is a place for whatever you can bring, and sort of quite a nice lesson for life, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think rugby in general, we talk about being diverse and having a place for everyone. That is literally the ethos of the game. But I think definitely when we're talking about influence and inspiring the next generation of women to get into sport, you look at teams like the Lionesses and hopefully what we hope to emulate in 2025 and how much that can influence and impact even national curriculum, people playing, well, girls specifically playing football in schools now. Hopefully we can have the same kind of impact so that these girls growing up can know that this is something that they can achieve.
So whether it's looking out for the next generation or ensuring that the boundaries of the modern women's fly half are continually tested, with Holly Aitchison, Saracens and England are in safe hands.